Over the weekend, a very disheveled-looking Steve Bannon appeared at the New York Young Republicans Gala, where he suggested that Donald Trump may run for president again in 2028. And of course, when Steve Bannon suggested this, the crowd went wild. They loved the idea of having a dictator for life here in the United States because apparently none of the people in attendance have ever opened up a history book to know that that literally never ends well for anyone, anywhere, at any point in history. But more importantly, Steve Bannon made these comments because he knew that it would get his name in the headlines. I don't think for a second that Steve Bannon actually thinks Donald Trump is going to run again in 2028, but he loves to troll the left. He loves to make people feel fearful. And that, I believe, is why he made these comments. So here's what he said. He was specifically referring to the 22nd Amendment that lays out the term limits for the president and vice president. And he said, quote, "Since it doesn't actually say consecutive, I don't know. Maybe we do it again in 28? Are you guys down for that? Trump 2028? Come on, man." The 22nd Amendment says this: "No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once." So the 22nd Amendment is very clear. It doesn't need to say the word consecutive because it just says you can't serve more than 2 terms at all. Like, doesn't matter consecutive or not, you can't do more than 2. And if you've served more than 2 years of somebody else's term through the line of succession or what have you, you can only do 1. So the 22nd Amendment is not ambiguous. But again, Steve Bannon, who I believe is an evil human being, is also not a stupid human being. Like, I'll give him full credit. Steve Bannon's not dumb. And everything that Steve Bannon says and does is said and done with a purpose. So since Steve Bannon knows that Donald Trump cannot run again in 2028, he also knows that we do not have the numbers in this country, whether through Congress or through state legislatures, to change the 22nd Amendment. He knows that Trump cannot do that. So why even make the comments? Why get the crowd riled up? Because he wasn't looking to get the crowd riled up. He was looking to get the left riled up. Because every time that Donald Trump has suggested, which he has done many times, including since this last election, he suggested maybe he does it again in 4 years, the left goes crazy. And I'll admit, there was a period of time where I was doing the same thing too. I mean, recently, honestly, doing segments talking about, we got to take these threats seriously. But at this point, I realize, no, we don't. We do have protections in place. And maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm relying too heavily on the institutions of this country to protect us. But I think what I've come to learn is that most of what the right does is nothing more than online trolling, right? That is what they do. That is why Steve Bannon made these comments. Not because he wants Trump to run again. I'm sure he does want him to, but he knows he can't. Steve Bannon was looking to just get the left all riled up and in a panic. So don't fall for it. Let it go. When these idiots make stupid comments, talk about how stupid they are. Don't sit there and panic thinking it's going to happen. If it happens, I'll eat my words. I'll be in the gulags right next to you, right? But until then, just treat these as statements from people who are desperate for attention. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.